Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is Jamie Dumas, and I am the Communications Manager here at WellcomeMD. We are a concierge medical practice with offices in Richmond, Virginia, and Charlotte, North Carolina. We are very happy to be joined by Amanda Harris this morning to talk about improving your mobility and stretching. Amanda is an exercise physiologist who specializes in addressing the aches and pains resulting from our modern life. She has a master's degree in exercise physiology from the University of Virginia, and Amanda has extensive experience in post-rehabilitative and medical exercise, and she is passionate about helping people return to the activities they enjoy after injury or surgery. She works with people both individually and in class settings, and today she is going to take us through a class and show us exercises to help improve range of motion. If you have any questions for Amanda during the program, you can submit them through the Q&A feature. If you look at the bottom of your screen, you will see a Q&A box. So you can submit questions at any time throughout the program, and I will ask Amanda at the end of the class. So we'll make sure that she can answer those live if you are watching us on Zoom. And with that, I will hand it over to Amanda to get us started this morning.
Thank you, Jamie. Hopefully you got the email that told you about props, because you're going to want some props for today's session. We love props here because props allow us to do movements when our body might limit us otherwise. So make sure you've got some pillows or blankets handy, or maybe both, and then some sort of a strap. It can be a belt, a dog leash, a scarf, whatever works for you. But we're going to need all of that this morning as we go through our mobility and stretch class. So I want to welcome you, pun intended, to our class this morning. And we're going to start by sitting cross-legged. So if you ordinarily need a little something under your bottom to sit straight and tall, go ahead and grab a pillow or two or three and join me in a cross-legged position. If you feel like your knees are up high because your hips are a little tight, you can also pad up pillows or blankets under your knees to support them in this position. Ideally, you're sitting up really tall with your pelvis nice and vertical. Now, let me just say before we get started that if any of these positions create strain on you, even with props, you are welcome to omit any exercise at any time. And as Jamie mentioned, we'll have a moment, a few minutes for questions after the class is over, and I can try to address as many of them as possible. But if you still have questions about what to do for your body to work on whatever areas the exercise in question was working on, feel free to reach out to me personally, and I'm happy to give you a 15-minute consultation on whatever you're feeling like you couldn't get to in this class. So I want to encourage you to try these exercises and remind you that we are aiming for no strain, no pain. This should all feel good. You should be able to breathe and smile through the whole thing. So as I mentioned, we're going to start with our legs in a cross-legged sit, up on our pillows if we need to. Sit really tall for me. Use the best posture you have. And we're going to start by sort of twisting a little bit. So in this position, what I want you to do is slowly turn to one side, rotating your head and your shoulders over your hips, and then turn back to the center. So we're going to keep you moving. We don't hold static stretches very long in this class. This is more about finding movement. So this little gentle rotation right and left should not hurt, should not strain. You're just going where your body says it's okay to go. Some of you may have still got some stiffness from waking up recently. And so we're just going to take a moment to twist side to side and see if we can wake this body up. Now, as this is starting to feel better, we can add a little bit more by reaching the same side arm as you twist. And as you reach that arm, you want to keep it aligned with your side. So try not to get this arm way behind you and create shoulder distress. Just point out to the side and turn with the arm. And then you're going to come back to the center and do it in the other direction. So point out to the side, rotating with the arm, breathing a moment, and we're going to continue to alternate sides. You might see that as you're pointing, the arm's going a little farther each time you rotate. So take a little time to enjoy the fact that you're loosening up as you rotate and point the arm to each side. And we're going to do maybe two more in each direction. Continue to breathe normally. And we're going to finish over here, probably to your left or to your right, my left. Okay. And then when you come back to the center, if it's available to you, we're going to get into kind of a double hook leg sit. Now, some of you probably are watching me and saying, oh my gosh, there's no way I can do that. So essentially, you've got one leg bent in towards your lap and the other leg bent behind you. Now, if you're tight through the hips and you're saying this isn't going to happen, you can actually start with your knees up and simply loll your knees to one side and sit up as tall as you can. So whichever position works for you, I want you to find that now. So I'm going to go ahead into this double hooked leg position, and just remember your modification is here if you need it. So once you're in the double hooked leg position, I want you to get as tall as you comfortably can. Take a big old breath in. And then as you exhale, you're going to have your arms behind you, and I want you to windshield wiper your legs to the other side. So if you're using our modification and you were here, you're simply going to windshield wiper to there, right? So it really depends on how much hip rotation you have available. This should never hurt your knees. It's coming from the hips. We're going to take a deep breath in here, and then come back through the center and windshield wiper over to the other direction. Good, and we're going to stay there for just a moment. Take a deep breath in, and then come back through the center and back the other way. Some of you might be feeling some little hip pops. I just got a good one there. Deep breath in, come back through the center and back to the other side. So we're just going to alternate 2 more times. Deep breath in, up through the center and over. And last one here, deep breath in, up through the center and back over. Last time. So now we're going to transition out of that position. You might be sitting on a pillow, so you can take that pillow out. And I want to invite you to come into more of a bent sit position. Now we're going to be kind of careful with shoulders here. This is a place where a lot of us might naturally want to go there, but I'm going to ask you to push into your hands and open your collarbones a little bit. And think about sort of doing the anti-computer posture here. Knees are bent and you're sitting up really tall. And this is just a really nice, as I mentioned, anti-sitting position to get into, even though you're ironically sitting a little bit. If you feel like this is really easy and you could use a little bit more, then you can reach your arms up and think about pushing the ceiling away. Now that makes you use a lot more hip flexor and upper back muscle, right? We're really straightening up through the upper back. If that's too hard, just keep your hands here. But if you are reaching with me, you just reach for a couple of seconds and then bring your arms back to your knees. And then you can do that again. And you might try reaching wide and reaching narrow. And again, my people who are sitting are just sitting and breathing in that position with the hands behind you. Those that are reaching are going up and down with me here and trying to get as tall as you possibly can. Making use of those hip flexors that tend to get really tight when we sit in chairs, but they're bent even more now. So they're learning something a little different. And we're going to do that one more time, reaching up, or my sitting people are still sitting with their hands behind you. And if you were reaching up, go ahead and put your hands behind you and open up the collarbones one last time. Take a nice deep breath in and let it out. All right, from here, I'm going to invite you to come down to the floor and we're going to start to work in earnest on shoulders. So you're going to lie on your back. Now, when you're on your back, I'll invite you to keep your knees bent, which should relax your back. Some of you may need a little something under your head. So maybe grab a towel, a pillow, whatever you need to lift your head up so your face is level. If you feel like you're looking behind you, you definitely need to prop up a little bit, but we don't want to prop up so much that the head is sort of craning up on the neck. So ideally the face is level, and once you're there, your palms are up. We're going to do a little movement similar to a snow angel here, where we keep the palms up and we fan the arms outward and upward, keeping the backs of the wrists on the floor. So only go as high as it feels good. Some of you are going to be able to get all the way up. Some of you are going to have to stop a little early. And some of you are going to have sort of one arm that goes up and the other arm kind of can't go all the way up. So meet your body where it is and choose the range of motion that works best for you. Then you're going to slide the arms back down to your start position, keeping the palms up. So let's do about 5 of these, your range of motion. You're going to inhale and fan the arms out and up. opening up the tight fronts of the shoulders, and then exhale to bring the arms back down. And we'll keep going here. Inhale and take the arms up. Remember, try to avoid pain or strain here. Exhaling, bringing the arms back down. We'll do a couple more. Inhale, bring the arms out and up. And exhale, bring them back down. Breathe in, take the arms out and up. And breathe out and take the arms back down. Last time, and then we'll switch patterns. Breathe in and take the arms out and up. And breathe out and bring the arms back down. So now a slightly different movement for the shoulders is to raise them overhead. And as we do this, we often want to arch the back and pop the ribs up. So what I'll ask you to do here is sort of with the arms pointing up to the ceiling, I want you to lie on your mat for a second and see if you can find where your rear ribs are in this start position. Some of you will feel like they're already arched up off the mat. Some of you will feel like you can feel the backs of your ribs on the mat, but monitor where they are. And what you're going to do here is take a breath in, and as you exhale, start to reach the arms overhead. But use your abdominals to draw inward and control those front ribs. So only take your arms as far as you can stay in control of those front ribs and avoid popping the ribs way up off the mat. And then you're gonna bring the arms back to start position on an inhale or an exhale, your choice. But we're gonna once again take a breath and use the exhale to bring the arms overhead. Only as far as you can without pain or strain, and only as far as you can without popping those ribs. Bring the arms back to start position, and let's try that again. So take a breath in and then exhale, draw the front ribs down as you take the arms overhead. You're probably starting to realize, wow, it's kind of tight under those arms. And that's normal for us modern humans because we do a lot of work with our arms in front of us. So take another breath in and exhale, draw those front ribs down, stretching the arms overhead. No pain or strain here, please. Bring the arms back up, and we're going to do one more like that. Take a breath in, and then exhale to tighten the abdominals, draw the front ribs down, bringing the arms overhead only as far as they comfortably go, and then bring them all the way back up. Very good. So now let's roll to our sides, and we're going to work on upper back rotation, rib cage rotation. So once again, you may need a pillow under your head to keep your head aligned with your spine. So be sure and get whatever props you need to be comfortable and not feel like you're straining through your neck. We're going to have the knees and hips bent with the top hip stacked directly over the bottom hip. That's to avoid rotating. So we've got to keep those hips stacked. And then we're going to start with the top shoulder stacked over the bottom shoulder and the hand on the head, elbow pointing forward. Now, the critical thing here is we're going to only rotate the upper torso. So head, neck, ribs, and shoulders, of course, but we're going to keep the hips out of it. So the hips have to stay stacked. Elbow stays pointed directly in front of you, so it's going to point the same direction as your nose throughout. I want you to avoid trying to reach this arm out and get the shoulder involved. This is all about your upper torso. So you're going to take a breath in here as you rotate the head and shoulders back. You almost have to think about pointing your top hip forward to keep it from going back with you. And wherever you stop, you're going to take a little exhale to relax there. You probably already have. Take another big breath in. See if you can move your rib cage. And then exhale and relax into your twist wherever you are. You're not pushing through anything. And then you're going to take one more breath here and rotate your head and shoulders back to the front. So let's see if we can get you into this rhythm a little bit. You're going to inhale, rotate the head and shoulders back, maybe pointing your top hip forward. Exhale, relax into your twist. Take one more breath in. Exhale one more time, relaxing into that twist. And on this third breath, inhale here. You're going to exhale and return to your start position. Okay, one more time in this position. You're going to inhale and rotate the head and shoulders back. Exhale, relax into your twist. Take another breath. Exhale, relax all the way down into the twist. Again, you might feel like you drop a little farther. One more breath in here. And exhale, rotate back to your start position. Now I want to invite you to bring your knees up a little bit. So you might bring them to where your knees are more at a right angle at the hip joint here. That's going to allow you to rotate a little farther. So let's do 3 more here. You're going to inhale and rotate the head and shoulders back. Exhale, relax into your twist. Take 1 more big breath in. Exhale, relax into that twist a second time. And then on this 3rd breath, inhale and exhale, return to start position. Let's do that again. Inhale to rotate. Exhale to relax into your twist. Breathe in again, big breath. Exhale, relax all the way down into that twist. And then 1 more breath. And the exhale brings you back to start position. We've got 1 more round of this on this side, folks, and then we're going to switch sides. So inhale and rotate your head and shoulders back. Exhale, relax into your twist. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, second time, relaxing into that twist. And then your last breath brings you back to your start position. Okay, so now we're simply going to switch sides. So let's make our way to whichever side hasn't been done yet. Once again, you're going to put your head on your arm or on a pillow, whatever you need to keep your head aligned with your spine. Bending the knees and hips. Knees are a little lower than the hips. Top hip is directly over the bottom hip. Top hand is to the head with the elbow pointing forward. You're going to take a breath in here and then exhale, rotate the head and shoulders back. Take a second big breath in. Exhale, relax into the twist. 1 more breath. And then exhale, return to start position. Let's do it again. Inhale, rotate head and shoulders. Exhale, relax into your twist. Second breath in. Exhale, deepen into the twist a little bit, only where it feels good. 1 more breath here. And exhale, return to start position. 3rd time, inhale, rotate the head and shoulders. Exhale, relax into your twist. Second breath, big inhale. Exhale, relax 1 more time. 3rd inhale. And exhale, return to start position. All right, now we're going to bring the knees up so that you've got about a right angle at your hip joint. And we're going to have you rotate again. So inhale, rotate the head and shoulders. Exhale, relax into your twist. Second breath, big inhale. Exhale, see if you can relax a little farther without pushing anything. 3rd breath in. And exhale to return to start position. Let's go again. Inhale, rotate the head and shoulders. Exhale, relax into your twist. Big old breath in. Exhale, see if you can deepen a little bit. 1 more breath. And exhale, return to start position. 3rd time's a charm, everybody. This is it. Inhale, rotate your head and shoulders back. Exhale, relax into your twist. Second big breath in. Exhale, deepen into your twist a little bit. 3rd breath in. Exhale, return to start position. So hopefully you feel like you're a little loosened up through the upper back. And to continue to loosen you, I'm going to invite you down to your tummy. And we're going to go all the way down so that you're face down, elbows are under shoulders. You can let your face hover just above your mat. You might want to separate your feet so that they're about shoulder width apart just to give your back a little bit of room. And what I want you to do here, if it's available, is see if you can prop yourself up onto your elbows a little bit. This puts your lower back into some extension. Now, for some of you, that might be less comfortable. So feel free to grab a pillow or two and hug the pillow under your chest. So in other words, go to whatever point of back extension feels good to you. You don't need to push beyond your limits, but let's see if you can prop yourself into a little bit of low back extension. Take a big breath in here. Exhale, relax. See if you can get your back to sag and let go of some of the tension there. And then slowly make your way all the way back down to flat. And we're going to do that 2 more times. So let's have you prop up onto your elbows or use your pillows under your chest, whatever felt good to you. Stay there for a moment, get some good posture, pull your shoulders away from your ears, take a big breath in. And then exhale and relax the lower back, relax the abdominals, let everything sort of drop and sag. This is the opposite of sitting in a chair, right? We're backward bending a little bit here. And then you're going to slowly make your way back down to your mat. And we're going to get that one more time. So on the third time, we're going to prop ourselves up on our elbows or on pillows under our chest. See if you can get some good posture, shoulders away from the ears, heads aligning with the spine. You don't want to have your head up too far. No tension in the neck. Take a big breath in and let it out. And then make your way all the way back down to your belly. Now, hopefully you've got your strap handy still, so I'll ask you to reach for that strap, and you're gonna roll back onto your back one more time. So we had you on your back earlier, we're gonna go back to the back now, and you're gonna take your strap, and I want you to see if you can place it around the ball of your foot. We're going to go after your hamstrings. I bet a few of you would say that your hamstrings are a little bit tight. And those of you who don't have tight hamstrings, you'll love this because it'll feel great. Those of you who do have tight hamstrings, please don't make this painful. Make this easy on yourself. Make it feel good. So what I want you to do is you put the strap around the ball of your foot. I still have this other knee bent. You saw me straighten it a moment ago. We're going to do that. But first, what I want you to do is with both knees bent and this stretching leg in the air, wiggle around on your mat for a minute and see if you can feel the back of your pelvis, because we need to make sure that is down on the mat. It's not rolled up and pushing your back down in the mat. Now, continuing to feel the back of your pelvis on your mat, you're going to straighten your non-stretching leg. And I want you to bring the stretching leg down until you notice that both butt cheeks are on the floor. So make sure the pelvis is down and the buttocks are flush on the floor. And then with the leg that you've got in the strap, you're going to keep it that low and straighten the knee. Now, for those of you with painful knees, go into this slowly. What I often recommend is that you try to relax the knee in straight, but if that hurts you for any reason, then go ahead and tighten your quads, which are the top of the thigh here. You can kind of tense them to support a sore knee, and that'll make this position much more bearable. If your knees are happy and healthy, let the knee relax into straight and hold the leg up with the strap. So find the position that works for you, and then all you're going to do is use the strap to pull the leg up until you feel a stretch in the hamstrings. Make sure you keep both buttocks on the floor. So you're going to hold the tension in the hamstrings. You should still be able to smile and breathe, remember, and then slowly back out of the tension. And just check your body position. Make sure both butt cheeks are still on the floor, your back's relaxed, and then let's gently bring the leg back up into a hamstring stretch. So breathing and smiling, holding it here, and then backing off a little bit. Now we're going to do that one more time. Don't worry, we'll come back to it because I just don't want anybody out there grunting and sweating over this. So you're going to slowly bring that leg back up the third time. Again, those of you who can relax the knee straight, do that. If you need to support the knee with your quad, work that quad. And then slowly bring the leg back down. Now you can go ahead and bend this knee and then bend your non-stretching leg, and we're just gonna switch legs. So I'm gonna switch the strap to my leg that hasn't stretched yet. I'm gonna make sure the strap is around the ball of the foot, no lower, no higher. And then we're gonna wriggle around on the mat and make sure that the pelvis is level and down. Once that is satisfied, I want you to straighten your non-stretching leg. See if you can get the back of your thigh to touch the floor, at least part of it. And then lower the stretching leg until you can feel the other butt cheek. So buttocks are level, pelvis is level. And now we're going to simply straighten the stretching leg. If you can, allow the knee to relax into a straight position. If that's too much on that knee, squeeze your quad to support your knee. And then we're going to slowly bring the leg up into the stretch. Feel the tension in the stretch a little bit. And then slowly bring the leg back down. So it's important that when you bring it up into the stretch, you keep the buttocks on the floor, right? We're not rolling up the pelvis. So once again, bring that leg up into a little bit of a stretch.
hold the stretch, and then ease back down. Keep breathing and smiling. Last time, making sure your leg is straight. Bring the leg up into the stretch a little bit. Hold the stretch, breathing and smiling, and then bring it back down. All right, now let's go ahead and bend the knee, and we're going to transition back to the first leg one more time, because most of us need a little more hamstring stretching in our life, don't we? So once again, pelvis is level. I'm going to go through this a little faster now because you know it. Non-stretching leg is straight. The back of the thigh finds the mat. You're going to rock or roll around a little bit until you make sure both buttocks are down. And then you're going to straighten that stretching leg, relaxing the knee into straight or supporting it with your quads, whatever you need. And then we're going to slowly start to bring the leg up into the stretch, keeping both buttocks down. You might find that you can go a little farther now. And then slowly back off. Good job. Keep smiling and breathing. Bring it up again. Find that stretch, but a happy one, not a mean one. Slowly back off. And one more time, bring that leg up into a nice little hamstring stretch. Remember, if you can't breathe, it's too hard. And slowly bring it back down. All right, let's bend the knee. Switch legs. So this is different probably than the way some of you have learned to stretch your hamstrings, but different is good. Find a nice level pelvis. Find level buttocks. Let's straighten the non-stretching leg. And then bring the stretching leg down until you feel both buttocks on the mat. Straighten your stretching leg. Relax the knee down into straight or support it with your quad, whichever you need. And then let's slowly bring that leg up into the hamstring stretch. Feel the stretch a little bit, breathing and smiling, and lower it back down. And a second time. Bring the leg up. Feel the stretch a little bit behind the knee into the hamstring. You might feel it in your calf. And then lower it back down. And then number 3, last one, nice straight leg goes up into your hamstring stretch and slowly bring it back down. All right, good. Now bend your knee. You're off the hook with the hamstrings. Now it's time to open up the front of the hip. So roll onto your side for me. Keep your strap. And I want you to take the strap around the lower shin of your top leg.
Now, in this position, you might need a pillow under your head to support your neck, and that would be just fine. Just make sure your head is aligned with your spine. Your bottom leg needs to be bent at the hip and the knee to keep you from rolling over. That's just going to stabilize you a little bit. And then your strap, as I mentioned, is around your lower shin of your top leg. Now, keeping your knee level with your hip, you're going to use your strap and your buttock to draw your thigh back in the hip joint. So try to do this without arching your back. You're literally just pulling the thigh bone backwards. You can tighten your abdominals if you need to. And those of you with sore knees may need to let out a little bit more leash on your strap and think of drawing the arm back behind you instead of pulling it up and bending the knee. So the knee, as you can see with my knee, can stay at roughly 90 degrees if you want, and you can take that arm straight back. What we're really trying to do here is open the front of the hip. Now on the flip side, if you feel like you're not getting much stretch and your knee can bend more, then go ahead and add a little knee bending in this. You'll feel more. So it's really based on what you can comfortably tolerate, what feels good. So once you've held that a little bit, which we've held it a little long, go ahead and let the leg drift forward again out of the bind. And then once again, draw it back. So just like with the hamstring stretch, we're going to go into and out of the stretch a few times just to let that hip open up. So drift forward again and drift back. And since this position is a little bit quirkier to find than the hamstring stretch, I'm going to give you a 4th repetition because some of you probably took a minute to get into this position. So let's do a 4th repetition and just draw this thigh bone back. You can kind of squeeze your butt on that side, on the top leg, and then let it drift forward again. And we're going to switch directions and go to the other side. So you're going to get in that same side lying position. You're going to loop your strap around your ankle. Make sure your bottom leg is bent at the knee and the hip, and your head is aligned with your spine. Your strap is wrapped around your lower shin of your top leg, and your knee is roughly aligned with your top hip. So I'm checking my alignment. I was rolling backwards. So make sure you're stacked up like I mentioned, and then you're going to use that strap on the leg as well as the buttock of the same leg to draw the thigh bone back. So once again, if you want to keep your knee out of it, then you would pull the arm straight back so that you're really paying attention to the thigh bone and not making the knee bend anymore. If you want a little more knee bending, you might choke up on your strap and draw the thigh back and then pull the knee in. So it really depends on what you want, what you need, and what's available, right? Make this yours. And then let's let the leg drift forward again. So once again, you're going to draw the thigh bone back using your buttock and your strap and hold it there. And then let the leg drift forward again. Good. And we'll do 2 more because I know this takes a little bit of time to get in the proper position and make sure you feel like you've got your modifications. And then come on back. And last time, drawing the thigh bone back, holding the stretch for a moment, and then bringing it back. Okay, so now you can unloop your strap. And what I want to invite you to do now is come to all fours. So in all fours, some of you might say, oh, I'm not sure I can do this on my knees. Feel free to use blankets, pillows, any sorts of props to pad up your knees. I think that's always a good idea, whether you have knee issues or not. But if you can join me here on all fours, go ahead and join me. Now, one of the biggest complaints I get in both one-on-one work and in group work is that when people are in all fours, their wrists hurt. If you've never had an injury to your wrist, so if you've had an injury to your wrist, this might be different. So I just want to throw that out there. But if you've never had an injury to your wrist and you find that your wrists have a hard time in this position, it's probably because your forearms are really tight. So what I'm going to ask you to do is gently and to your ability, rock forward slightly. That puts your wrist into a little more extension than we would ever ask for in a regular exercise. And then I'm going to ask you to rock back. Now, depending on your knees, you may be able to get all the way to your heels, or you may find you need to stop a little sooner. If you need to stop sooner and you want support, you can place some pillows between your lower legs, and you can just bump the pillow with your bottom to sort of cue you to get out of your knees. You don't have to do that. You can also just stop when it feels like you're running out of good feeling, good range of motion there. But I want you to use the rocking that works for you. So we're going to start with the tops of the feet on the mat. Hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips. And you're going to rock forward and get a little stretch on those forearms, not to pain, just to stretch. And then you're going to rock back towards your heels. And you're going to go as far as it feels good. And then you're going to rock forward again. Now, if you get foot crampies, just stop and stretch your feet. You know, you can do that too. Because some of your feet, for some of you will feel like your feet aren't used to this. Which means we need to do more of it, right? So you're back and you're forward. And let's just rock back and forth here a few more times. And remember, you should be able to breathe and smile still, so none of this should hurt or feel like it's too much effort. And I'm going to ask you for one more like this, and then we're going to come back to all fours. And here I'm going to invite you to curl your toes under. Now, some of you may not be able to do that for various reasons. If you can't do that, that's okay. You can stick with the tops of the feet down. So whatever works for you, but I'm going to ask you to rock back again. Now, that might feel different to your knees. You may get more range of motion out of this version. And then rock forward again. So rock back towards your heels. You're kind of stretching out the bottoms of your feet now. And rock forward again. And rock back on your heels, stretching out the bottoms of your feet. And rock forward again. And we're going to do that 3 more times. Hopefully you're picking the variation that works best for you. And rock back. And forward.
And last time, rock back and forward. Now, the last stretch in my sequence for today, and don't worry, we're going to go back through some of them, is to get you to put the tops of the feet down, rock back to where it feels good to you. Again, if you need to prop pillows between your calves here so that you don't go all the way down, that's fine. You can also put a pillow below your head, but we're going to take you down into basically child's pose. And I want you to reach your arms forward in whatever variation you need. Use pillows and props as needed. Take a deep breath in through your nose here. And then exhale and relax. So this is spine, hip, knee flexion. We're trying to get everything to relax in this flexed position. Another big deep breath in. And exhale to relax. And one more time, big deep breath in. And exhale to relax. Okay, now I'm going to ask you to walk your arms over to the right side, and that should stretch your left side a little bit. So heads down, you're reaching the arms right, stretching your left side. Big deep breath in, and exhale, relax. And in again, and exhale, relax. And now you're going to walk your hands over to your left side, which is going to put a stretch on the right side. And you're going to take another big deep breath in and exhale, relax. And deep breath in and exhale, relax. And then come back to the center for me. One more time, reaching the arms long to the center. Last deep breath in. And as you exhale this time, just walk yourself back up. You may find you have to get onto or out of kneeling and get back into a seated position. Some of you won't want to kneel, and that's just fine. And we're going to return to our very first position. Now, we've got about 5 more minutes, and so what I want to do is go back through some of these early hip mobility exercises and go through them one more time and get you a little bit more loosened up. So we started out with our legs crossed, sitting up on a pillow. So what I'm going to ask you to do is find your pillows if you need them, or you can sit down on the floor if that's available to you. And I want you to switch the cross of your legs. So you're going to put your non-dominant leg in front. I always call this the goofy side because it feels kind of weird. You know, it feels unnatural a little bit, but it's good for us to do that because it gets your body used to a slightly different or unusual position. And once you're here, we're going to start our rotations again, but we're going to start with the arm reach because you should be nice and warm now. So I want you to take that arm right out in front of you and rotate around to one side. So whatever side the arm is on, you're rotating toward it. You're keeping the arm at your side. You're not letting it go behind you and stressing out your shoulder. And then you're going to bring that arm back and put it down. We're going to switch sides, rotating toward the reaching arm. And you might find that whatever you were rotating toward last time, you're going farther now because you're loosened up. And we're going to continue to rotate and reach, breathing. Remember, you should always be able to breathe and smile doing this. It should not be so hard that you're grunting. And then come on back. And then reach again and rotate. And come on back. Keep alternating for me. We're going to do a couple more times to each side. And reach and rotate. Breathing, sitting up nice and tall. Hopefully your hips are relaxing in this position now. You're using whatever props you need to relax them. So last time to each side. And then as we finish, we're going to come back to the center. And I want you to go into your double hooked leg sit, which also can be the legs windshield wiper to one side and you're kind of leaning away from them. So whichever variation you prefer, let's get into that variation now. You can keep your hands behind you regardless. Sitting up as tall as you can comfortably. Take a deep breath in with your legs in that sort of rotated position. And this time as you exhale, I want you to transition. Windshield wiper over. And then take a big deep breath in here.
and transition back, windshield wiper back. So this is really working on hip rotation. We don't do this enough, folks. We sit in chairs that keep us in one standard position. So breath in and exhale, windshield wiper over. This keeps our hips nice and loose. Breath in, exhale, windshield wiper back. So 2 more times. Breath in, exhale, windshield wiper over. Breath in, exhale, windshield wiper back. 1 more time to each side. Breath in, exhale, windshield wiper over. Breath in, exhale, windshield wiper back. Great job, everybody. One last round. I'm going to get you down on your back to move your shoulders, and we're going to finish there. So you're going to move your pillows out of the way, come down to your back. Let's do a little bit of shoulder movement one last time. Your knees are bent. You have something under your head to help with head and neck alignment if you need that. Your palms are up, and you're going to inhale and fan the arms out and up, only as far as it feels good and as far as you can keep your arms on the floor. Exhale, bring them back down. Again, inhale, fan the arms out and up. And exhale, bring the arms back down. And we'll do 2 more here. Inhale, fan the arms out and up. And exhale, bring them back down. And last one, everyone. Inhale, fan the arms up. And exhale, bring them back down. Second pattern, reach the arms up to the ceiling. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, the arms go overhead, but you're going to pull your front ribs down a little bit with your abdominals so that your ribs don't pop up. Bring them back up, bring those arms back up, and once again, take a breath. Exhale, arms go overhead. Holding those front ribs in position. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, controlling your front ribs, taking your arms overhead only as far as it feels good. And inhale, bring them up last time. Exhale, draw the front ribs down, reach the arms overhead. And inhale, bring them up last time. All right, everyone, roll to your sides to get up. And then that's going to be our end of our class today. So in just a moment, I'm going to unplug my microphone so we can take some questions and hopefully give you some great answers. I really appreciate your joining me today for class. It was a joy to do this for you all. I hope you got something really good out of it. So, Jamie, and let's see if we have some questions.
Yes, thank you, Amanda. Hopefully everyone is feeling a bit more loose and awake. I know I often wake up feeling pretty stiff, so this was a wonderful way, I think, to start our day. As we mentioned at the beginning, if you all have any questions, please feel free to add them into the Q&A box that you see at the bottom of your screen. I'll go ahead and wait a second. Everyone's probably getting up from that last position. But Amanda is here to answer any questions that you may have. All right.
So Jamie, the big question is, did you do any of that? Did you do any of the exercises?
I did not, but I was taking mental notes and I definitely need to. But I'm in my work attire, so I feel like it's probably
that's a shame.
Okay, so I do have one question.
Okay.
How frequently do you recommend implementing a stretch routine like this, particularly for someone who might have very tight hips?
Oh, I would say daily. I actually do a modified version of something like this daily. And you don't need to do it for 45 minutes the way we just did in class, although that's a really fun way to do it. You can implement a mobility and stretch routine that lasts even 10 or 15 minutes every day, and it'll just get you going, you know, and I think most of us would benefit from that just because modern life has us in sort of some static positions, whether you're sitting or standing. We're just not using our joints in these various directions as much as we used to. So I would say daily, absolutely.
Wonderful. Okay, I have a comment. Someone says, this is outstanding. I feel like I can breathe easier. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yay.
And then I do have another question for you.
Okay.
Are your group classes virtual, and how does one access them? And are you doing virtual individual sessions?
Okay, so yes to both. My group classes are through the Mind Body app. And if you are unfamiliar with that, because for a lot of folks, it's unfamiliar, I am more than happy to get you set up. If you want to leave me your email in the feedback form when Jamie sends that out, I would be happy to help you navigate that. But yet they are virtual through MindBody, and they go Thursdays at 10 a.m. and they're very inexpensive. They're like $10 a session if you buy a group of 4. So would love to have you join us through that. And then yes, I do both virtual and in-person sessions now. So my virtual sessions are through DoxyMe, which some of you, well, a lot of you are probably familiar with through Welcome Now. And then my one-on-one sessions, if you come to my office, we have full-on protocols, masks and gloves and all that good stuff. So I'm happy to see you either way.
Okay, and then another question. When we were on the side stretching our shoulders, chest, is it regular to feel really tight in the chest?
Yes. The reason you feel tight in the chest is that most of the things that we do as modern humans is with our hands out in front of us. And so it's very rare that we have a need, let alone an opportunity to actually rotate and move the shoulders and rib cage in the way that we did today in this lesson. And so, yes, most people will feel a lot of tightness in here. The other challenge is if you're not doing anything that really requires a demand for increased breathing, like vigorous cardio exercise, which is okay. I mean, not everybody is into that. Then you may find that your intercostals, those muscles between your rib cage, are really tight. And so the rotation and the breathing, remember I was cueing you to really breathe, can make you it'll draw your attention, I guess, to how tight that is. But it's useful to go ahead and open that up. Not that anybody wants or needs to get sick here, but even a cold will make you feel really restricted in there. If you're already limited before you get sick, you'll feel even worse when you're dealing with runny nose or whatever. So it's good for all of us to have a little bit more movement in the ribs. But yes, it's very common to feel tight in the chest in that one if you've not done it before.
Wonderful, thank you. And as Amanda mentioned a few minutes ago, I did just add a link to a form in the chat that is separate from the Q&A box, but you will also see that at the bottom. And that is if you would like to provide us with feedback on this morning's class, you can do so anonymously, or if you are interested in more information from Amanda on her specific classes or would like to receive her newsletter, feel free to add your name and email address to the form. So again, that is in the little chat box at the bottom if you have any comments you would like to share. We're always looking to improve, so feel free to share any thoughts that you have.
And thank you all so much for attending. I saw a couple of thank yous go across the screen this morning. It's my pleasure to offer this to you all. I hope it really helps you have a great start to your day and you just continue to have a wonderfully mobile and energetic day.
Wonderful. All right, everyone. Well, thank you all for joining, and thank you, Amanda. This was fantastic.
My pleasure.
If you are new to WellcomeMD and you are interested in learning more, we are also accepting new patients, and you can visit our website at WellcomeMD.com. That is WellcomeMD.com. Again, thank you for joining, and thank you for getting us started on a fantastic day, Amanda.
My pleasure. Everybody have a wonderful day. Hope to see you soon.